Hello everyone and thank you for joining me. For today's Scribble I will be using a fountain pen that I had in my collection for quite some time and I used it fairly regularly back then. However, it's been sitting on a shelf for a while now and while I was going through my collection I remembered about it and I decided to put it back into the rotation. I guess it's kinda nice to not purchase new fountain pens for a while. It forces you to go back to the ones that you forgot and bring them back to life, basically. Pretty neat little demonstrator. You can still find it today on sites like eBay for a very decent price still, I would say. It comes in a few translucent colors options as well. It's well built, it feels solid, robust, more so than this fountain pen that I reviewed from them last time I looked at a platinum fountain pen. The clip is actual metal on this one and is very usable, springy and solid at the same time. The clip mounts straight on the cap, so you won't be able to remove it. The cap also has a small metal band at the end of it, and you can remove the cap by pulling on it. It is a pull-push type cap and it has a very nice click to it. One thing that I really like about the cap on this fountain pen specifically is the fact that it posts perfect, to be honest. Deep, secure and without any kind of wiggle. The section is fairly plain and it has a metal ring band just above the nib and it screws into the central metal band insert, I guess I would call it. Yes, the section can be removed from this insert and it does help a little bit with cleaning the pen. The barrel is just plain plastic and it also screws onto this metal band insert. It almost feels like the entire fountain pen was designed around this metal bit that brings the entire fountain pen together, which is nice, but also not so nice. Not so nice because, as you can hopefully see from the video, the metal threads are shaving those plastic threads from section and barrel a little bit, because they are not very well smoothed out, so personally I would advise to not over tighten these parts. As you can see, I do have a converter on this fountain pen, but originally did not come with one. Not sure if that has changed presently, but it did come with one cartridge as far as I remember. And the last bit of the fountain pen, the nib and feed. The cool part about this fountain pen is that it's coming with a translucent feed to match the demonstrative vibe. The nib seems to be mounted on the feed by being kind of like a clamp-on or maybe slip-on installation. Very similar with the feed and the nib that Lamy fountain pens have. Also, the nib has a very interesting shape to it. Reminds me of the Pilot Volex nib shape. I believe I said that too when I looked at the Volex back in the day when I reviewed it. And I might have shown this platinum fountain pen back then as well. The nib is an extra fine on my fountain pen as far as I remember, and I do remember liking it a lot. But maybe I forgot, so let's see if that opinion has changed since last time I used it. As I mentioned last week, I wanted to try the other Everflow ink that I have, the blue-black. It's been a while since I used that one as well, and I don't remember exactly how good it was. However, when I opened up the bottle this morning, I noticed something surprisingly unpleasant and worrying. Some floating things on top of the ink. No idea what it is, so for now I have placed it in a separate place from all my other inks, and I will check back on it in a month or so. I want to make sure it's not mold or anything like that. So, I'm changing plans a little bit and instead I will be using a private reserve ink, the Sepia. I don't remember using it for any drawing in the past, so I guess it's not a bad time to see what colors we can get out of it. I was also planning to hopefully use a wet brush on top of it as well, just to see if I get any interesting effects, but I did not end up doing that for a good reason, as you will see. I did use this ink for writing in the past once or twice and I liked it. Speaking of writing, first of all, no issues during the fill up and even the cleaning process was quite simple. Barely any ink residue on the section. The only mishap is when I touched the edge of the bottle and got ink on one of my thumbs. But I guess that is just normal business in this line of work. Not that I'm getting paid or anything. Once I started writing, a nib started working as soon as it touched the paper, and it performed perfectly until the end without any kinds of skips. Actually, with this ink on this paper, this extra fine nib, it's quite juicy, and I do really like this color for writing. This and the other one coming from Herban, the Terre de Feu, are one of my favorite inks that I have. I actually have a daily carrier that it's always filled with the Terre de Feu. Anyway, with the writing aside, let's try and dive into a Scribble and see what we can get out of this ink and fountain pen. Alright, so for the Scribble today, I really had no idea what to do, like I said. As such, I did end up spending up some time, as in wasting time, on the internet looking for some inspiration. Eventually something did kind of popped in my head, and I finally started to put some lines on the page. However, the drawing went into a complete different direction than what I was thinking originally. I don't even remember what it was, to be honest, but I did not care that much regardless. I've let myself getting immersed into building shapes and values and just trying to somehow connect all the lines that I put on the page into one unified scribble. And I think I kind of pulled it off in the end. I ended up with some sort of an alien thing with a lot of tentacles. Or did I? Towards the end of the drawing, something hit me really hard, and I just could not get it out of my head. When I realized what has actually happened with the drawing, once you see it, which I hope you will, because I'll kind of play with the paper to make it more obvious, you won't be able to unsee it. I won't spoil it for you, but that pretty much for me was the end of the drawing. All that I can say is that I was sitting here at my desk and laughing literally out loud, trying not to be too loud and wake up everyone else in the house. It was 2 AM in the morning. So yeah, a fun drawing with a twist surprise that it's how I would summarize the Scribble for today. And I think the fountain pen played a big role in making it fun and enjoyable. Let me tell you about that beautiful nib on this fountain pen. I was blown away by how juicy this extra fine nib is. I think this is one of the juiciest extra fine nibs that I have anywhere in my collection. And remember, this is a Japanese extra fine. It dumped ink on the page like a champ, and not in a bad way. I don't know if it's because of the ink, in part, or is just the nature of the nib, but I love how it behaved. As you will see, I have refilled the fountain pen 3 more times in order to finish the drawing. The only fountain pen that I used, and I had to refill it almost as much, maybe more actually, or as often, was when I used the Confucius Duke fountain pen, and that one had a really broad foot nib on it. I think I might have ended up filling it 1 more time, but I stopped short only because I was laughing too hard once I realized what happened, and I called it done right then and there because I just did not want to ruin it by working too much on it. I was not too far from finishing the ink inside the converter regardless. Another big surprise for me was the ink. You can definitely layer this ink quite a lot thanks to the nib as well. They worked really well together. The only downside was that I had to move from one area to another in order to let the ink dry before returning to add more layers on it or on top of it. If I would have just moved the nib in the same spot for longer periods of time, all I was doing is move the ink around and just build up a big blob of ink, which would have ruined it. So the secret to layering ink is, especially for this one, let it dry and come back later. So in the end, I'm happy I went back to this little gem of a fountain pen and tried it out with this ink. I think from now on, this fountain pen's ink will be forever the Sepia from Private Reserve. Now, I also have to be honest and realizing that maybe not all of them will behave like the one that I have. Let me know if you have this fountain pen and what your experience is with it. But based on what I see and feel on this specific copy, I have absolutely no issues recommending it. And yeah, I think I would say that in its own way, it is kind of a cool and well-balanced fountain pen. And with that bad pun out of the way, I think I will make myself scarce and let you enjoy the rest of the scribble, and let me know if you get to see what I see in the end. Leave your comments or questions below if you have them, and I will reply to them as soon as I get the chance. Until next time, I wish you all the best and a wonderful day or night, wherever you are. Take care. Bye.